Hi. Alright, this is a new plan. I just actually thought about this about 5 or 10 minutes ago and thought, well, and the music you hear in the background is so that if I quit talking, because I'm pretty medicated most of the time, so if I quit talking, I need something going in the background so that, like, I can figure out how long I haven't been talking. Right? Right. So this is maybe not the best way of introducing myself. And this song, this one specific song, is very important to everything because it's called BSA and it's by the Brian Jonestown Massacre, I believe. And it's a motorcycle song, so it's the perfect way to start this. So my name's Jack, and I'm 28, and I'm disabled. I have Klinefelter syndrome, chronic pain syndrome, fibromyalgia, and post-traumatic stress disorder. On a daily basis, I take around 4,000 milligrams of various. I'm doing this all for show, because normally when you say, oh, hey, I have 3 syndromes and a disorder, people are like, bullshit. These are all my meds I take every day. You know? And it's illegal, but I smoke a little bit of marijuana once in a while because it helps control the pain that these meds don't control. Basically, side effects are I'm in pain all the time. All the time. Always. Every day. And I'm in a pretty good mood right now because I'm planning to do a 7,000-mile road trip on a 1997 650cc Ural, which makes about 38 horsepower. It's been slightly modified. I've changed out the turn signals off of a 70s CB 750 maybe. They're, good. And the headlights off of a KZ1000. The handlebar switch gear. The switches are off. Our new old stock for an OEM for 1970s and 80s Yamaha XS 650s. Glorious, glorious switches. If you ever have to replace your switches on a motorcycle, these switches come with the full harness, which of course you have to butcher slightly because it won't match what you're doing. But the cases are metal. It's the best, finest switch I've seen on the market for vintage or new motorcycles because none of it's plastic. It's all very well put together and they cost $45 a side. So, and you can buy those on mikesxs.net, I think, or .com, which sells nothing but parts for Yamaha XS 650s. But you can make most of those parts fit any motorcycle you want because you can really make anything fit anything. So, I'm doing this, the whole point of this new blog, WordPress thing. I was going to use Xanga, but no one who still remembers Xanga except us 28-year-olds and whatnot. So I'm going to do this WordPress, and I'm not leaving for 2 weeks, but I am going to leave. And I am going to go first to Brooklyn, then Washington, D.C., North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm going to spend a few days in Savannah with one of my best friends. That leg of the journey, I will have on the Ural. You've got your Ural, you've got your sidecar tub, everything's golden. And this is a Taurus, by the way, so it's only got the one-wheel drive in the back. Sorry I'm talking so fast. So anyways, next song's Pete Seeger, a little different. So anyways, we took the tub off the sidecar frame, and we put down 2 2x12s going down it, and they're eye-bolted to the frame. And I've got 1989 Suzuki GS 500 that's not actually mine. I've ridden it, but it's not actually, it was mine, but you know, it was never in my name. And I'm giving it to my friend down in Savannah. So the way we're getting it to Savannah, my idea is we've made a little motorcycle platform on the sidecar frame. So the GS 500 will be strapped to this frame, so I will be riding a motorcycle to Savannah at 50 miles per hour in the far right-hand lane of I-95 with another motorcycle sitting about 2 feet to my right, strapped to my motorcycle. And for some reason that just pleases the hell out of me. It just totally pleases the hell out of me. The reason I'm doing this trip now, and I mean right now, is because I'm starting to be able to move around again. And with my body, I'm not comparing it to cancer because cancer's murderous, quite literally, and nothing compares to cancer. But in a way, it's kind of like cancer because I'm on a lot of the same pain medications and a lot of the same pain dosages as a friend's wife who has cancer. What happens is my body will, I'll have a fit or an attack or a spell or whatever the hell you want to call it, and I can end up in bed for a year, or I can end up in the bed for the majority of the last 4 years. But in cancer they have something called a remission, and when you get yourself into a remission, you can hold it for a while. Some people can hold it for years, some people hold it for months. For me, the longest one I've ever been in was about 6 months, 7 months, about more like 6 months. And I used to be good pretty much all the time when I was like, 13, 14, 15, 16. But as I got late teens, early 20s, late 20s, it's all really gone to hell pretty good. And so I think I'm coming into a really pretty decent remission, even if it only lasts like 3 months. That's glorious. And right now I have the budget because I got back payments on some disability, and I can see the Republicans' eyes going, he's going to spend disability money on a motorcycle trip? This is why we shouldn't have it. But you know what? Fuck you. Also, this money is coming from my dad's Social Security, which he paid into for 50 years and then died before he ever got to collect. That's legally where this money's come from. So, the back payments, I got a lump sum. I cut lump sum in half. I gave half of it to my mother. It's hers. She takes care of me. Yeoman duty, she's a saint. She's been stressing about money a little bit, so she gets half of that lump sum. And then another chunk of that goes to one of my best friends who actually bought me the fucking Ural 2 years ago and hasn't said a fucking word about the fact that I've been unable to pay him back for it until now. So now the Ural's mine. It's been in my name, but I didn't have a chance to pay for it until now. So that is huge off of my mind, because borrowing money from friends, I doubt anybody watching this doesn't know what that feels like on both sides. It's a terrible thing, but God bless him. Then another little percentage of that money is actually going into the Ural, because I ride the Ural 4 seasons. And since it's kickstart only, it's sort of self-regulating, because if I'm not in good enough physical shape to kickstart it, I shouldn't be on it. The other way of looking at it is, if my chest locks up on the Ural, I maybe kill myself. I'd have to have incredible aim to actually hurt a pedestrian with a motorcycle. I mean, it's cars have so much stronger safety structure than a motorcycle that, you know, and my bike tops out at 50, so, you know, I'd die and it'd fuck up their car, but they'd be fine. If I was in like an 80s Oldsmobile and my chest locked up, I could kill someone. So I don't drive cars anymore, but I'll be damned if anybody's going to take my motorcycle away. You can take away my motorcycle license, I'm still going to find some way to ride a motorcycle. It's my sanity. They are the only things I've ever cared about since I was 8. I started going out and sitting on my dad's 67 Atlas in the garage when I was 8, pretending I was a boy racer. And then, of course, I know the video's reversed, but you can see I have a thing for Triumph. And there's a Norton tattoo back here. If this wasn't a laptop, I could show it to you, but really I don't think you care that much. So, yeah, that's the plan. So this is I've been in bed for 3 years. I gotta get the fuck out of here for a bit ride. And it's just, I'm doing it on a 1997 650cc Ural that hasn't been modified all that much. I finally put in the Power Arc ignition. And, you know, I've replaced a lot of the electrical headlight, bike turn signals, tail light I replaced with a little old Lucas Cafe style tail light, but because of the tow bar on the Ural, the license plate's way down here, I got screened at for bending it up to go underneath the light. So I just got this from Dami Racer, which is another awesome company for getting English motorcycle parts from at affordable prices. And this one isn't supposed to go on this plate. As you can see, or maybe you can't see, I had to modify it slightly. That's Gorilla Tape. It's one of my best friends. Up here you can see where the original one's supposed to mount. Actually, the one on my motorcycle right now would have fit this perfectly. And it's just their little rectangle one and see, so it would have fit. Try and get the lighting right. There it is. It would have sat right here. But this has been my favorite Lucas tail light forever. I think it's just the classiest goddamn thing that ever existed. So this can get mounted below the tow bar on the Ural. Even if this part overhangs past the fender a bit, it just creates more of a fender. And I can mount my license plate directly below the light. And so not only am I goldenly legal, but I have the rear tail light that I like. Someday I would love to swap out the Japanese turn signals for Lucas turn signals and swap out the headlight for a Lucas headlight. Not because Lucas is better than whatever the Japanese company is, but simply because I like old English motorcycles and everything about them. And it's just, that's my driving passion in life. It's like a, 67 Atlas or a Norton 500T or Norton Manx or Norton ES2 or, the Norton Mercury or 1969 Norton Fastback, the 750, the sweetest fucking bike of all time. Or a nice Triton, or a 73 Triumph T140V or TR7, because I've owned one of each. And I rode the TR7 for 7 months with no other means of transportation. I had to sell it when my body wasn't strong enough to start it anymore. I'm broke a lot. I've only been on disability for a couple of years. From the age of 18 until I was about 25, I kept trying to go back to college and I'd fail. Not grade-wise. I did really good grade-wise. My body would tend to kick out on me about halfway through a semester. And so I went to 5 different colleges, I want to say. Some of them a few times. My last bit of that was at MMI in Phoenix. That was about 4 years ago. And I came home from that and I was in bed for a year because I didn't want to fail. So even after I knew that my quote-unquote remission was over, which was about 3 months before I finally gave up the idea of doing it, I'm 6'5", and when I came home I weighed about 132 pounds. I had literally almost killed myself trying to succeed. I don't want to be on disability. I don't want to be on 4,000 milligrams of nerve painkillers a day. I'd pump gas for the rest of my life if I could. I don't give a shit. It's work. Men are supposed to work. I'm a very liberal guy with like, my baseline is 1950s, 1950s America. Not the white, I'm sorry, that's racist, and I love black people. I have friends who are black. I don't know why I said white. I'm on drugs. White picket fence is probably where that came from. But so, the guy is supposed to get married, have a wife, have kids, have a house with a white picket fence. You work your job every day. You provide for your family. That's what you do. And by the time you're my age, 28, you should have that. And I don't know where that comes from for me. That's always been my baseline. Except I did guys and girls. From previous trauma, which is the PTSD, which I won't explain. I don't date anybody. So the family's out. The wife or husband is out. In 37 states, the husband's out anyways. I don't really like white picket fences all that much, so that's out. I can't live by myself, so my house is out. My mother's trying to get us a 2-family, so she has 1 floor, I have 1 floor, and there's somebody near me, for those days when I wake up and I can't move, or when my chest locks up and I collapse on the floor. And yes, knowing all of that, I'm still going to get on a motorcycle by myself and ride for 7,000 miles, because I've been in this bed for close to 3 years now, and I'm a thinking man. I like to work with my hands. I gotta get the fuck out of here. I just have to. I can't deal with this much longer. I have to get out of here. So I'm gonna try it. And if it fails, then it fails. But I tried it, So the lower half of the journey, I'm going to camp, going through the South. I have a bivy sack, and because there's no tub on the sidecar, which, by the way, the bike has balls now, because it's not hauling that extra 150 pounds. A little tricky in right-hand corners because it wants to lift, but I think I can fix that with barbell weights clamped to the bottom side of the 2x12s. So anyways, I have a bivy bag, so instead of having to set up a tent and everything, I'll just take all of my very meager travel shit off of the bike hauler frame. I'll put the bivy bag on the bike hauler frame. I'll put my little air mattress in it, and I can sleep on the motorcycle, which means when I'm asleep in my bivy bag, no one's going to steal my bike unless they kill me first, because I'm sleeping on my motorcycle. It also means that, if I've been riding for however many hours and the weather turns to shit and I'm in a fairly secluded place, and I can't find a fucking campsite, I can just ride my bike off the road and camp. So there's that, and I'm pretty excited about that. And so that's the trip, and I'm leaving on March 25th. And the point of this blog is that I am going to post video updates and from the road, and I'm also going to post, except my cell phone is antiquated by the comparison to most of yours. I don't have an iPhone, I don't have an iPod, I don't have GPS, I don't have any of that modern shit, because I don't know, I should have been born in the 40s or something. And this isn't like, hey, he's a hipster, because I've been like this since before people started calling people hipsters. This wristwatch is a Hamilton, and it's mechanical, and you wind it yourself every day. This pocket watch, which I carry every day, same deal. I've been carrying a pocket watch since I was 7 years old because I usually hate wrist watches because physical contact hurts. I carry a Swiss Army knife. I smoke pipes. I started smoking pipes after my father died. I listen to vinyl records and have since I was 12. I missed the iPod phase fucking completely. I am not a hipster. Do not fucking label me. Don't call me a hipster. I will get mad at you. I ride old English, German, Italian, Russian, some Japanese motorcycles when I can, whenever I can, because motorcycles are my passion. I did ride a Harley for a little while. It's just, it ain't my thing. The engines are fucking glorious. It's just, it ain't my thing. I like twins. But I like parallel twins, and I like boxer twins. I don't like the V-twin so much. I did like the Moto Guzzi V-twin, but I didn't like the Ducati V-twin very much. I love Ducatis, the engine's too peaky. I like torque. Torque is my thing. I also don't give a shit for anything that has more than 50 horsepower unless it's like a 1950s Norton Manx. Anyways, I've been talking for 21 minutes. But the blog will be updated as I have internet access. It will be updated from the trip. You will get to see my decay, decline, or improvement. I might even get a tan. I'm not going to shave until the trip's over. I also have low testosterone. That's the Klinefelters. So I give you a month. The beard will be maybe twice as long as this. It's really quite pathetic. And it doesn't grow here. Or here, really. And it doesn't grow up here. So what it becomes is it just becomes this thing that grows down here. And it's really quite hilarious. And pathetic, and I look homeless. But I'm riding a motorcycle across country by myself. So I don't want to look like George Clooney. Because, you know, I don't want to get mugged. Even if, you know, they'd be sorely disappointed if they got into my bank account. Or if they realized that they can't hawk my Ural for much of anything. Actually, they wouldn't even be able to start it unless they managed to, you know, well, beat that out of me. Anyways, that's about it. And, yeah, the little bit of money I'm putting into the Ural, which will actually be after the trip, will be, unless the check comes more than the week before the trip, you know, because parts have to get here. I am going to get the 50 amp alternator right now. I'm still running the low 14 amp alternator. I have changed out the battery to a gel battery, one of those Odyssey batteries, and that works superb. I use JRC carburetors. JRC carbs for English bikes, Italian bikes, German bikes, Japanese bikes, any bikes. Look them up on the line. They're cheap. They're not as cheap as they were 5 years ago, but they're cheap. And they replace AMOLs direct, and they're bone simple, dead reliable, and they're just glorious carburetors. And I've had this one pair on a Royal Enfield, 2 Triumphs, Triton, a Yamaha XS500, a Yamaha XS400, a 1976 BMW R65, 2 Royal Enfields, and now the Ural. So you can mix it up with these. These are good carburetors. JRC. Buy them. Anyways, one of the dealers for them is Lowbrow Customs, which is another fucking awesome place to get parts. So anyways, I'm going to shut up now, but this will be updated, if not daily, and the first number of videos will be very boring because, you know, I won't be on the trip. But when I can, I will update this blog about the ride, and I will post a map today when I make the official blog with a picture of the bike and a picture of my route so far. It's pretty basic. I go 50 miles per hour. I get about 30 miles to a gallon, and my body's all kinds of fucked up, so I'm only going to do about 5 to 6 hours a day on the bike. Camp in the south, sleep in motels in the north. Stay with family as often as possible. So anyways, I'll post up the trip, and I'll post up the idea for it, And anybody that wants to comment on anything, feel free. And this is a motorcycle adventure, and it's also a way for, this is my last thing. There's a book called Eric. It's actually probably behind me someplace. It was written by Doris Lund, and it's about a boy named Eric who was diagnosed in the early 60s or mid-60s with leukemia when he was 17 or 18. And the book is his battle through the eyes of his mother and people that knew him to survive. And I read it once a year on average, for it keeps me humble. Because, you know, physically, life sucks. But I don't have leukemia, I'm not battling for my life, and I don't have half the courage that Eric had. And the same year that we landed on the moon, Eric Lund, when they were landing on the moon, Eric Lund and one of his best friends were in a Ford Falcon van in, I think, Colorado. They were riding from Connecticut to California and back while he was in remission from having leukemia. It was his second or third remission. And if you're a kid in the 60s who's dying, fighting for his life against leukemia, can drive and ride a motorcycle, because they brought one with them, cross country and back, motherfucker, I don't care if I'm disabled, I'm going to try it. I want to see the Pacific Ocean by motorcycle. I'm going to go across again. I don't know how much worse this is going to get, or if this is going to get better. But if I know that if I keep up doing it the way I'm doing it right now, I'm going to go out of my fucking mind. And all of you Republicans who think that, you know, you shouldn't be taking care of me, you're not. My father's Social Security is taking care of me. And my father lived a real life. He was in the Air Force. He was a coal miner for a day. He was a fireman for 7 years. He worked in steel mills. And then he got himself an education, got a white-collar job, and was a technical writer for 20 years. You fucking Republicans can't say shit about my old man. He paid into Social Security all his life and died before he could collect it. And now it's mine. Or at least some of it. Mom gets the rest. But that's what's paying my life. And you can't take that away from me. You don't have the right. You understand? You don't have the fucking right to take my father's money away from me. Those are the laws. And if I want to live like a human being, I am going to do my utmost to live like a human being. You can't say I haven't tried to live like a normal citizen. I went to college so many fucking times. I tried to hold down jobs. I did everything I fucking could. And I will continue to fight this. And I will continue to try to get better. And when I am better, I will get a job someplace. I will work for the rest of my life. But until I can do that, this is how I have to do it. And if I have to take an absolutely insane 7,000-mile motorcycle trip on a bike that makes 38 horsepower to save my sanity, that's how I'm going to do it. And that doesn't prove that I'm not disabled. It just proves that I'm stupid. Now, I'm going to listen to Joan Baez much louder than this. I'm going to smoke my pipe. I'm going to make this blog. And, yeah, that's me. So, you'll get more personal shit. You'll get less personal shit. You'll get my, oh my God, it's pouring outside and I'm dying in this little bivvy, and why the fuck didn't I buy a tent? Probably someplace in Nebraska. And that's it. 30 minutes. I won't make any of these longer than 30 minutes. Although I can't promise for the writing, because I write like a motherfucker continuously. I write just like I talk, so enjoy trying to read that. But at least it's tight, because my handwriting, motherfucker. Alright, fellas, you have a good night. I'm going to smoke my pipe. It's Josh Ritter now. Folk Bloodbath. Folk Bloodbath is the name of the song. It's glorious. Good night.